The other day I unfortunately had to recount a tragic story of recovering the body of one of my favourite badgers on a road not far from my house. Very sadly, the animal was dead when I found it. But increasingly often we're driving along the roads in the UK and we find animals which are not dead, but they are equally sadly injured, and often we're left wondering what to do about it. Well, Hannah and Ryan from wildlifefirstresponse.com have come up with this kit. The idea being that you carry this in your car, so if you do find any animal, you've got just the tools that you need to deal with the situation. Now, let's be very clear, this is not meant to be a first aid kit. This is not meant to be a substitute for a vet or a wildlife hospital. This is just to help you at the time of recovery so that you can do that in a safe and secure manner. So let's see what they've got inside their first response kit. I've got a checklist here, and this is part of a snow shovel like this. Look, it's a telescopic net that could be very useful for catching small mammals or injured small birds. It's so difficult to get them carefully in your hands sometimes. Essential here, high vis. Obviously, if you are on a roadside, your personal care is of principal importance. Some gloves here for something like a large mammal that may potentially bite, or perhaps an animal that's unfortunately bleeding. Some lighter gloves, excellent. Here's the handle for the shovel. Pair of pliers if the animal's trapped in a fence or anything of that type. These could be very useful. A notebook and pen, of course. It's important to take all notes that you possibly can about the condition of the animal, where you found it, what you think might have happened. A pair of scissors, always useful, of course. A mirror here. Now, sometimes the animals may be unconscious. How do you know whether they're still alive? Well, you hold this in front of their nose and mouth, and if any steam appears on the mirror, that might give you a good sign here. There's some hand sanitizer, very important indeed. It might be dark. It might be out of the range of your headlights. A head torch is going to be really important. And then lastly, of course, for the animal's comfort, here we've got some cloth and a blanket which you can wrap the animal in. And the general consideration is, when one finds wildlife, this particularly birds, is to keep them in the dark to prevent them from moving and further injuring themselves, and also to keep them as warm as possible. Once you've recovered the animal, then you're in a position to make a decision about what you're going to do with it, and that perhaps might mean contacting the nearest veterinary surgeon or the nearest wildlife hospital, where you can get the expert help that you need. But I think we've got to say hats off to Hannah and Ryan from wildlifefirstresponse.com. I'm going to be keeping this in the back of my car in case I come across any injured wildlife.